guys, welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, man, I wanted to show some love to Giant Man. And the reason why I wanted to do that, guys, is because when I first started playing this game, this guy was one of the first 3 characters that I ever got to 6 stars. And the reason for that is because when I actually started, believe it or not, he was actually a meta character, guys. Like, he was actually one of the top characters in the game. Like, if you wanted someone to run story missions for you, he was the guy. If you wanted someone for Battle World, he was the guy. If you wanted someone for Timeline, he was the guy. It's actually crazy to think that he was actually at the top. Because before there was Doctor Strange, there was Sharon Rogers. And before there was Sharon Rogers, there was Loki. And before there was Loki, there was this guy right here, Giant Man. So when you think of the chain of events and how this game has evolved, it's crazy when you go back and take a look at this guy's skill set, because it's actually pretty basic. And when he was running things in this game, he did not even have this 5 skill right here. He only had these 4 skills, and they're literally nothing on them. Just damage, 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 damage. That's it. And he was at the top of the pack. Believe that, guys. It's actually crazy. If you don't believe me, do a couple Google searches, Reddit posts, you'll see them. Giant Man was at the top. It's actually crazy to believe. However, as the game has evolved, which happens with pretty much every game, power scaling, power creeps, however you want to call it, characters slowly get surpassed. It actually brings me to my next point. Will Doctor Strange actually end up here in 2 years if this game is still alive? Let me know what you guys think about that, man. But yeah, so as for Giant Man, guys, if you're new to this game and you're building Giant Man because you really like him, just know that he's not going to be a top tier character. I can pull off some world boss kills with him against like Proxima, Super Giant, maybe even Ebony Maw if I play him pretty carefully. But besides that, I can't really get too much out of him besides Shadowland. Shadowland is my main place where I use him. And then World Boss if I'm just trying to show him some love for the old days where he actually got me through a lot of stuff, right? Apart from that, can't really use him anywhere else. Timeline, he'll get completely annihilated. Alliance Battle, he's never been good there. His survivability is decent because he can tank a bit, but no iframes, and his damage block on the 5 skill right here is very, very short. As you guys can see, it's 3 seconds and it's on a 14-second cooldown. Even with max skill cooldown, you only down to 7 seconds, and that's 4 seconds. You either have to kite or try to suppress the enemies, and this skill is his only kind of CC, right? You can kind of lock them down with Growing Pains because it's kind of like a stun lock skill where you attack very quickly, but if the enemies cannot be guard broken, this is not going to get you very far. So to me, guys, Giant Man is in a place right now where I feel like he's a B tier character at best because of the fact that he has no iframes, no kind of CC outside of the 5 skill, and his damage is only decent at best. His survivability from the old days is not good enough anymore because the main thing that was carrying him was the fact that he had really high HP and he had a way to increase that even more with his leadership. However, with the addition of all these high power characters with crazy amount of burst damage, this old school method is completely dead and buried. So Giant Man is not going to get you very far if you invest too heavily in him, just so you guys know. He is a decent character. He's not a bottom tier by any means. His gears are pretty good. He gets physical attack and crit rate for the first gear. And you guys want to roll it pretty similar to what I have here. Physical attack per level for the first 2. All attack and physical for the remaining slots. Second gear, he gets physical defense and attack speed. The attack speed does help a little bit. Because he got physical, I rolled for energy per level for the first 2. And then all defense for the rest. Next one right here, I went for HP per level. And HP for the remaining slots. Crit damage is nice. Movement speed is kind of whatever, to be honest with you. And the last slot, he got ignore defense and HP. So overall, his native gears are actually pretty good. The only thing that he's really missing here is skill cooldown, okay? So he's very easy for you to build because he gets some decent gear options. Just keep in mind, guys, like I said, he's not going to be a top tier character. I would personally say still build him because his rift is pretty easy to run, especially if you're farming cards. It's one of my go-to rifts. That's why I have so many freaking bios of this guy, because I literally just run his rift all the time because it's super easy to complete, right? However, I would not tier 2 him because he's not going to do anything that he's not already capable of doing, even if you put him at tier 2. So that's my opinion on it. Please do not waste your tier 2 ticket. And if you're building this guy, for me, I went with a damage proc here just because I got a really good obelisk that was a 3-star and I slapped it on it because I don't really use him outside of Shadowland anymore. However, if you want yours to be a tank, go ahead and slap invincibility on here. You can't really go wrong with that because he doesn't have that much survivability, okay? Damage proc, to be honest, is kind of wasted on him because none of his skills really do any kind of burst damage. He's more of a tank, so building up his survivability is probably the better way to go about it. But for me, I usually use him on an early floor in Shadowland, and that's good enough for me because his time as being king came to an end a long time ago, okay? As for ISO set, guys, I went with Hawk's Eye for obvious reasons. He doesn't get any skill cooldown on his native gears, so I wanted to get a little bit from Hawk's Eye. However, if you want to, you can go ahead and roll a skill cooldown here, and then roll for a different ISO set here. Go for Overdrive or Power Fang Hulk, up to you. If you want to go for a defensive ISO set, which you probably shouldn't, guys, because it's going to make it so that he has less damage than he already does, which, like I said, his damage is nothing outstanding. He's kind of like in the middle of the pack. However, if you guys want to make him attack because of personal preference, sure, go ahead. You can put binary power on him here, and that will be probably the best defensive kind of ISO set for him because it's going to give you that HP shield. Okay, guys? Uniform is up to you if you want to buy it. I have it because I bought it a long time ago. If I was just starting out right now, I probably wouldn't buy it, to be honest with you guys, because the uniform bonus, although it's decent, it makes him a little bit better. You could use this 750 crystal on someone else, to be honest with you. It's not going to make that big of a difference in my eyes, okay? I could probably do a lot of the same things that I do with him right now. It'll be a little bit harder because you will have less attack and less defense, but it could probably still be done, or you could just go ahead and slap a leadership to make up for the fact that you don't have the uniform, okay? So if you want to, if you like him, go ahead, get the uniform. If you're just building him just to complete your roster, or because you're running rifts and you end up having the extra bios to build him, yeah, go ahead, build him up, get the uniform if you want to be a completionist, but it's nothing that you have to go out of your way to buy. Trust me when I say that, guys. I like Giant Man. I will always be grateful to him because he got me through some tough times, but I just got to keep it real with you guys. So let's go in here, and we're going to go ahead and play on floor 3 against this Spider-Man relay right here. It should be a pretty easy one for him. If you have invincibility, it will be easier than I have it because I have a damage proc, so a little bit of survivability issue here, guys, but it is what it is. And the key skill here, guys, is going to be the 5 skill because that's his only CC and that's his only kind of protection because he has no iframes and that's the only stun on any of his skills. Okay, guys? So just kind of stay on top of these guys. As soon as that skill comes off cooldown, spam it, cycle through his skills as fast as you can to kind of keep them locked down. And just stay on top of them and press the damage. Ant-Man is going to be a little bit annoying, so once he comes out, make sure you're on the ball on him because once he goes into like his little ant phase, there's not really much you can do. Sad life, guys. Literally no iframe, so I can't break him. So it's either he breaks me or I break him. If he escapes again, and he did. Son of a gun. Check that out, guys. Who wins? Who wins here? Ant-Man or Giant Man? Let's go. Giant Man for the win. Giant Man for the win, boys. There you have it, guys. It's not easy. It's not pretty. Floor 1 would definitely be an easier solo. But I wanted to show this guy some love because I haven't played with him in a long time. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm out, guys. Have a good one.